Good day. Having taken down this Buddleia a few weeks ago, my plot neighbours and I are looking at taking this down this afternoon. And I mean, that is, how high is the poly tunnel? The poly's mostly about 6 foot something. 6 foot, 6'6". And yeah, there's most probably about 20 feet of Buddleia there. We most probably will be bringing it down to sort of chest height, but yeah, we will see how we do. I mean, what we do need to be careful of obviously is that we don't puncture the poly, and we'll endeavour to not do that obviously. But yeah, one of the plot neighbours is down shortly and we're going to have a go at taking this down. There's my shadow there, look at that. As you can see, it's a gloriously sunny afternoon, very sunny and just rather lovely. I love those brassicas, the nets over the brassicas in this sunlight. I was just talking to Vivi yesterday and I was speaking about that because I was sitting in my chair just having a chat with Vivi yesterday, and I've noticed that this tree honeysuckle, which I should have pruned earlier, is beginning to grow. Oh, and also noticing that these daffodils are beginning to come out as well, so that will be lovely. Oh, and look under the chair leg, can you see there's a dandelion? Oh, it's lovely to see that. And where did I saw, oh yes, it was by the other pond. Let's go down there. I saw a lovely dead nettle. I know I've been going on about them, but they are rather lovely. Look at that, can you see the little mauve flowers on there? There's some there as well. And it's actually trailed into the water here. That's all dead nettle. And there was a bumblebee on this one a short while ago. Yeah, rather lovely. But first off, I'm going to do some work on the Buddleia up there before my plot neighbour arrives, just to give us a bit of access at the side. And there we are. As you can see, the sun is going down and that Buddleia has really come down. So it's now no taller at its highest point than the polytunnel, or about the same as the polytunnel, which is really great. My plot neighbour from next door, we really tackled it between the two of us, or we did tackle it between the two of us. And I'm just so happy that that has been done. And we've got lots of material to go into the dead hedge, and I'm just going to put the final bit into the dead hedge now. Rather a lot of Buddleia to go onto our dead hedge there. Look at that. Yeah, so I will feed that into the hedge over the coming weeks. I won't do it all at once. this is it close up. And yeah, we've done quite a bit of work just cutting back sort of dead wood and putting them in down here at the base, because again that will act as a dead hedge and a haven for wildlife. You can most probably see bluebell leaves in there as well. Those are what are under the polytunnel. And yeah, I'm just really pleased with that. Really good job done. I'm so pleased to get that job done. We've sort of tinkered around the edge of that Buddleia over the last couple of years. I think I did it maybe 2 years ago, but not as thoroughly as that. And what's great is where we've taken the height down to sort of shoulder height, the growth that comes up will be really quite frondy and blow easily in the wind. So hopefully there won't be any great traction should there be any really strong winds when that growth comes. So that's both Buddleias on the plot sorted. I do think I need to do something with this tree honeysuckle behind me. Maybe I'll do that later in the week, and really that's just cutting back to growth and thinning it out a bit to let quite a bit of air in, because it does have a propensity to get a bit of that oh, what's it called, can't remember, the sort of downiness on leaves, because there's not a great airflow if there's too much leaf growth in there. So I think I'll do that later on in the week. But yeah, it's a glorious it's been a glorious afternoon. I got down here about 3:15. That work has taken us about an hour, which is great. We've had a chat, of course, along the way and whilst we were doing things, and put the world to rights. And we had a sort of a longer chat at the end of it as well, after I'd taken things down, and my plot neighbour, of course, you know, it wasn't me doing it, it was myself and my plot neighbour. We did just as much as each other, and yeah, teamwork. So it was nice having that chat. And now I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes and watch the sky, actually, because it's rather lovely. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. Sure signs of spring, with these King Alfred daffodils beginning to come out. They look particularly lovely in one of Jax's troughs, the smaller one. The large one in front has got iris and tulips in, so I can see tulip leaves coming up and iris leaves coming up, and I can also see some weeds coming up, so that's going to need sorting. Oh, let me just spin you round over there. Look, a little catty. That's rather a cute one. Don't see that one very much. He really is quite proud of himself. I don't think we can... Oh, he's going to go over there now. Oh, little catty. But what I'm going to do today, after having admired these, is sort out this, which really does need work, as I said the other day. I hope in doing the moving of the camera and tripod then there wasn't too much creaking, but if there was, that's what it was, me moving things. So yeah, let's just go a bit further up. A lot of canopy up there. You can see quite a lot. Really, all I'm going to do is thin it down and give it some air in the middle. I'm not going to worry too much about the height. Yeah, so that's what I am going to do now. hopefully you can see that there's plenty more air in the center there now. I have taken some of the height down, not too much. I've been concentrating mainly on crossing branches and dead wood because there was quite a lot of dead wood in there. I'm not an expert on tree honeysuckles, but there does seem to be quite a bit of dead wood that comes off each season, or growth that comes each year and then dies. So best to get that out, and I've got that out, and it's really cleaned up the center quite a bit. There's all the detritus on the floor and around me. I put much into a bucket, and that will go into a compost bin at some point once it's dried, and that will help aerate the compost, which will be really, really good. But we'll see how this does as we get into spring. Yeah, there's a lot of growth beginning on here, and I look forward to seeing how this responds to the pruning that I've just given it. Hopefully wonderfully, and hopefully we'll have lots of fabulously scented flowers. Right, I'm going to leave it there for today. See you again very soon. Bye. Good day. It's Sunday morning, about 9 o'clock, and I'm just going to be pottering today, maybe for an hour, a couple of hours. Got some tidying to do and clearing of things. If we sort of come over here, I get out of the thing, just sort of tidying around here, picking those sticks up, tidying the top up here, moving this, which is iris, back over to here, because when I came down this morning the top was off, most probably blown off by the wind that we had the other day. Sorting out tubs, maybe today, maybe not. Keeping on top of weeding. I noticed that there's some moss which I'm not worried about, but there's some sort of weeds coming up where I've weeded, so just keeping on top of that. There's a few weeds over there as well. Some weeds down here. Tidying. I'm noticing that our ponds, because we haven't had any water, they're really lacking in water at the moment, particularly this below ground one, which has got a leak in it anyway. So I'm going to have to, oh actually I've got water in a watering can that has sat there for a long time, so that can go in. This is the rhubarb that we leave each year. It's not particularly tasty, that one, so we leave it as an ornamental. Need to clear up the prunings from the other day, put that cardboard down. Yeah, general tidying, and more weeds in here. I'm not sure if you can see, there's couch grass there and there, so I'm going to go in with a hand fork, try and keep on top of that weeding. Oh, sorry, hit the camera. Need to move these sticks from here. It's been so dry that even our brassicas are beginning to sort of suffer a bit in how dry it's been. Again, a bit more weeding here. You can see some weeds at the front. It's where I took the turnips out. This pond is doing fine. It's not lacking water, which is good. Yeah, just sort of tidying really. I sort of feel in this our 7th year here that this is most probably the most advanced I've been, most prepared I've been for this growing year, and it's not going to be a full growing year. So I've been thinking this morning, I think I may sow some peas and some more broad beans here. We've got some more broad bean seeds, so I think I might sow like 2 double rows of peas and a double row of broad beans. That will be in a couple of weeks. The brassicas that we've got in, I'm not going to be sowing any more brassicas. We've got these that will get us through till May. Oh, there's that catty over there again. Oh, yes, these brassicas will get us over, or get us through till, well, maybe with a couple of pickings a week through to May, through to April, let's say. And then we've got Portuguese cabbage in this bed over here, which the ones that have survived have begun to grow okay now. I can see a little purple pansy. Can you see that in there in the centre? And then these edge beds, which again you may be able to see dead nettle. That's staying in there, and I think these edge beds, I was going to put peas in here, but I'm really sort of looking at what I'm going to grow. I'm all for leaving things for the people or person who takes on this plot next. What I'm also aware of is that moving house is a lot of stress and a lot of work, and I don't want to give myself too much work down here. So I think these edge beds are going to be flowers this year, which will be lovely. And then this bed is going to be carrots, and it's mainly going to be Amsterdam Forcing and London Market. They're both early varieties of carrots, and in fact both of them, or particularly Amsterdam Forcing, but both of them can be sown really sort of this month because they're pretty cold tolerant. But because we're going down to -4 at some point, I'm not going to sow for a couple of weeks until that threat is over. I was hoping to do that by now, but no. And gosh, shiny bright. This bed I think is going to be beetroot and turnips, like we said before. There will be, I mean, once that bed is sorted, finished, that bed of brassicas, as I say, by sort of April, I think that's going to be beans. That's going to be cane beans and bush beans. This one we'll put in here whatever gaps, into gaps here we'll put whatever we have, which might be additional beetroot. We like our beetroot, and of course it's a relatively quick growing crop. This bed is going to be, I think, mainly tomatoes. If we're here till the middle of August, we'll most probably get a harvest. Yeah, we'll most probably get a harvest, just some, and then whatever remains can remain for somebody else. So I think this will be tomatoes. Backtracking, we've got our garlic here, which is doing fine. I'm going to put some chicken manure pellets on the top there, just top dress them. The external broad beans, yeah, they've really taken a battering with the cold. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of, I think, 13 remaining. Let me just lift up this fleece tunnel and see what's underneath. I'll just put you down for that. I think we can see there that, not surprisingly, the ones under the fleece have done better than the ones that weren't under protection, though we've still got a few gaps here and here and over here, and there is a bit of scorching from frost on some of them as well, but I mean, you know, they're doing okay. So I think what I'm going to do, or what I am going to do, is cover them back up now, because we're going to have some more frost. But what I think I will do is open up both ends after that -4 has been in a week or so, to let the air go through to strengthen them up. So it will still be covered in a tunnel, but the two ends will actually be open rather than closed, allowing airflow through, and that will start strengthening these up. Because one of the issues is when you have beans like this, or you have anything under a fleece tunnel or some type of tunnel, it's obviously not getting battered in the same way as these have been, and that's why these are smaller and these are larger, so these have been protected. But if we just take the tunnel off without thinking about what might happen to them, these could quite easily flop about in winds that we do have. So for a week, maybe 2 weeks, what I'll do after that -4 has been is I'll open up both ends of the tunnel. So basically the tunnel that slots in here, when I put it back, the end will be open like that, and this far end will be open in the same way, and that will allow airflow to go through to start acclimatizing these broad beans that have been protected for the last 3 months. It'll start them acclimatizing to what they're going to be used to, so that when we take the fleece off completely, they'll be a bit stronger, and B, a bit more sturdy as well. But that can wait for a couple more weeks yet. Let me just put the fleece cover back on. And you may have seen I've pegged this down, and as I say, in a couple of weeks when that -4 has been, I'll open up this end, unpeg it basically. Right, let's carry on. Pruning of these blueberries is something else I'm going to do, mainly removing crossing branches and dead wood. I can see that, I think, yeah, all of this here is dead down to here, I think, so I'll be taking that out. Once we're settled in our new place, I'm planning to do more individual pieces on pruning, because several of you have asked for that. I think you can see the buds coming out on here. This is an earlier variety, again dead wood here. Look, I can just snap that, and that's dead wood. Not sure if you can see. Yeah, most probably give that bench a little tidy. I mean, things are so dry because we've had so little rain. This is the pansy, like the one that we saw, the purple one that I took out when doing some weeding, and it was such a nice plant, I thought I'd just leave it there. But it's got hardly any moisture in there, so you know, I need to give it a water, and that's because we haven't had rain, you know. So yeah, tidying up here to do. I'll do that. Those verbascum are fine there, quite happy in those pots. How are these? Yeah, you see those are strawberries, and they feel quite dry as well. Yeah. Always lovely to see daffodils. Oh, look, honeybee. Honeybee. Oh, and right at the beginning I put a video of one of the cherry trees at the bottom of our road, and yeah, it was just full of bees. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the bees over the noise of everything else. And then coming up here, not sure what will go here, maybe bush beans, because I'm mainly thinking about things that we're going to be harvesting before August, or up to and including August. Long shadow. Again, I did try these earlier. These are our, well, all of these are cuttings or seeds of one sort or another. These are our thornless blackberry cuttings that we did last year. And again, very dry. Very dry. This is going to be a potato bed. Yeah. Still not thinking about doing anything in that one yet. That can wait. That can wait. So yeah, look, I'm rambling, but I'm going to just get on and do things, and I'll oh yeah, and I'm going to prune these fruits bushes as well. Again, crossing branches. So these are 3 that I planted purposefully close because I wanted them to sort of act as one bush, but you can see there's a lot of crossing branches in here, so I'm going to be sorting that out. Not really very much dead wood. Oh, and tying this thornless blackberry in to that wire. Yeah, so I'm just going to get on and do stuff, and then hopefully I'll catch up with you a bit later. This is our dead hedge in the paddock area, and the prunings I took off the Buddleia a couple of weeks ago, the dark Buddleia, not the big lighter Buddleia that we did between the polytunnel and our neighbour shed, not that one that we did this week, but yeah, the one that I did a couple of weeks ago. I've got the prunings here, and I'm just going to feed them into the hedge, knit them in. These are sort of quite nice long straight bits. There we are. Hopefully you can see that we're filling up this hedge. We're thickening it up. And of course other things can go on the top as well and sort of further at the back. But what we're doing here is, by adding all of these prunings in, we're adding to the thickness of the hedge, and we're adding to the chance of the biodiversity of this hedge increasing over time. And of course what will happen, as I've said before, over several years, in fact over a year and then more years, these prunings in here will break down and the hedge will lower, and then we'll be able to put more things in and more things on top. So putting a dead hedge into a growing space near you, whether it be your garden, if it's big enough, or an allotment, it really is beneficial to you and to the ecology of where you are. So please do consider it. And if you only have a small growing space, if you've got a corner where you can pile things in a corner sort of neatly enough for you but wildly enough for nature, then that's a real boon as well. I've got an awful lot more Buddleia to do from the big Buddleia that we cut this week, but that's going to wait for another day. It's turned into a bit of a pruning morning rather than a weeding morning. So I pruned this gooseberry, left quite a lot of old wood in, but taken out anything that was broken or dead or crossing other branches. So there's quite a lot more air in there now. And if we come to this one, it's had a major haircut. I thought it was good to rejuvenate this one and demature it, in fact. So I've taken all of the dead wood, old wood rather, off and just left these bits of new growth. So we'll see how that shapes up in the coming years, because I'll definitely be taking that one. In fact, most probably all the soft fruit will be taking. Again, any broken or dead wood out of these three, and I've shaped them as a threesome, if you like. There's a bit more crossing still there, but I can sort that out. And then the blackcurrant, oh, I can see that. I should have taken that out. You see how that's broken off there? Not sure if you can, but it's broken off there. I should have cut that out, and I'll cut that out shortly. But yeah, that's excuse the shadow, that's the soft fruit bed done over there. The goosberries, which are those at the end of the bed there, we'll do those another day because I want to take cuttings from those. And then coming down, the blueberries had quite a bit of dead wood on them. That's been taken out, and any crossing branches again have been sorted. And then I've taken, just avoiding a few people, I've also done this rose as well, taking it down to my head height, top of my head. Yeah, so happy with that. And the bees are out in force. Oh no, I was going to say they're out in force. The honeybees, they were on here earlier because that's a bit damp, so they were drinking from there. Oh look, there's one there. Can you see it? It's having a little drink. Rather sweet. We'll leave it be. And as well as doing that, I also did, if we go this way, this rose as well, which was sort of twice the height, well, maybe a third more than it is now. I brought that right down. So yeah, a pruning morning back of the shed, and all the prunings have gone onto the dead hedge, which is over there. My bucket of prunings is now empty. What I thought was going to be a couple of hours has turned into 3.5 hours, but that's fine. I spent a nice time pruning the front rows, talking to two fellow plot holders there, so that was really good. And yeah, I've just enjoyed my time, you know, putting things in the dead hedge, knowing that that's adding to the biodiversity, being able to get rid of prunings, you know, without burning them is such a joy. I mean, I've rarely burnt on this plot. Others do it as a matter of course, you know, but we're trying to reduce the amount of burning because of course it's not good for the environment. where adding prunings such as this to a dead hedge is good for the environment. You know, it's literally a win-win scenario. You're pruning and making your plants happy, you're adding to the dead hedge, making the environment better, and you're not having to burn things yourself, which would then be detrimental to the environment. We're going to be having a bonfire vote here in the coming month, and that is going to be for either a total ban on bonfires, a ban on bonfires apart from the annual bonfire social that we have, ban on bonfires between the months of April and September, and status quo as it is at the moment, which is that people can burn small fires and in furnaces on their plots, not bringing anything to the plot to burn though. That's really, really important. And we've got rules in place about how to do it, you know, and to watch the wind direction, see where the smoke is going so it's not blowing into neighbours and that type of thing. But yeah, I don't really see the need for burning other than our annual bonfire social. And if people keep things for the annual bonfire social, that bonfire is so hot that it burns things much more cleanly than it would do in a small ground bonfire or in a furnace, you know, one of the metal furnaces that people burn in. So yeah, I think it's really important. I guess that we'll end up with the status quo, or possibly a ban in the summer months or spring summer months, but you know, we'll wait and see. We've got a committee meeting tomorrow evening and that's going to be discussed there, and I've already done a paper for us to discuss it. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, you know, I just don't see the necessity now to burn on allotments, particularly if you can put in dead hedges like we have done over the last 18 months or so. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this week of A Week at the Plot. And yes, I have been in shirt sleeves when the sun has been out, which has been the whole time that I've been down here. It's been absolutely glorious. The sky has been lovely. But as I sit here now, the clouds are beginning to gather, and I think the afternoon is going to turn grayer, or grey in fact, because it certainly wasn't grey this morning. So I have definitely got the best part of the day down here. And now home, I can't speak, now home for some soup and an edit of this and an upload so that it's there for tomorrow morning on YouTube at 8:15. As per usual, if you've got any comments or questions, please do leave them down below. And if you're on Planet Vegetaria, I will see you for segments during the week. And if you watch this on YouTube, any comments, questions below, and I will see you next week for another full week of A Week at the Plot. Bye.